Differentiated instructional mini lesson, I chose to do it over reading comprehension at the first grade level. Being a parent that works mainly with kindergarten and first grade, I saw it fitting. To start off with, my content strategy is scaffolding, which is when the teacher adds support for students to help them better understand a subject. And so they do something before, during, and after. And so before the book, I'm going to have the students make predictions. During the book, I'm going, like, if they come across an unfamiliar word, we will further discuss it and see if we can figure out what it means. And then third, after the story, I will have them retell it or reread it if needed. So to start off, the process strategy I used was tiered activities. This is when tasks are given based on a student's ability. So there's like a lower group, a middle group, and a higher group for students with different levels of readiness. For the lower group and making predictions, I would have them look at the cover and take a picture walk throughout the whole book to see if they can get kind of a good idea of what the story is going to be about and maybe help them better understand. During the book, when they come across a word that they don't know, I would point out chunks or have them see if they can point out chunks and break the word apart and see if they can figure out what it is. And then I could tell them what it means and give them examples. For after the book, I would have them retell anything if they could, but for the most part, I would ask them questions to see what all they comprehended. For the middle group, I would have them look at the cover and maybe a few pages of the book to see if they can predict what's going to happen. For during the book, if they came across an unfamiliar word, I would have them use the picture to figure out the meaning. And then after the story, I would have them retell as many details as possible, as well as draw a picture of some main event that happened in the book. For the higher group, then I would have them only look at the cover to make predictions and not be able to open their book to see what kind of clues they can use. During the book, when we come across an unfamiliar word, I would have them figure it out on their own and then maybe have them give me examples of how that word could be used elsewhere. And then after the story, I would have them do a comprehension worksheet with a bunch of questions about the book, and then at the end, have them come up with at least 2 questions about the book on their own. So they write the questions, and then they can have other students answer them, or etc. For my product strategy, I chose tiered products because it goes well with tiered activities in the sense that the products are based on the levels of students. So there's, again, a low group, a middle group, and a high group. For the low group, their product would have been answering questions given to them from me about the story to really focus on their comprehension and realizing that remembering specific details can help them tell a story. The middle group, they would have retold the story, and then they'd also have a picture drawn of one of the main events that they can, go home and show their parents, and then they can explain that picture and how it related to the story, and so on and so forth, and then they'd find themselves retelling the story without even realizing it, and that would build on their comprehension as well. And then for the last group, they'd have that comprehension worksheet, and then they would have the 2 questions that they made up on their own, which would not only focus on their comprehension, but it would also help their creativity in coming up with the questions themselves. And I think it would be fun. It's a good way to keep the students engaged. And so again, this was over first grade reading comprehension. And that is my mini lesson.